Today we are going to say about types of nutrition. The previous class we were discussed about what is a nutrition. Why do we require nutrition in our body? Where nutritions are presented in? So that question we can solve and we can find that the nutritions are presented in food. So food is all kinds of the nutritions are presented. So in the last class we were discussed about what is a nutrition and what is the benefit of the nutritions. This class we are going to discuss about types of the nutritions and their benefits also. So children, let's we see there are different kinds of the nutritions are the present. So these are the called 7 types of the nutritions are presented. Mainly they divided into 7 types of the nutritions. What are the 7 types of the nutritions? We are going to know in a detail. Am I clear, children? So now let's we see, children, what are the 7 types of the nutritions. The first one is carbohydrates. Second one, proteins. Third one, fats. Fourth one, vitamins. And also we call as vitamins. Minerals, dietary fiber, and also water. So there are 7 major nutrients are there in the food, and also it is a required for our body also. If these nutrients are not there, we call this as a deficiency. The deficiency is nothing but lack of nutrition in our body, either 1 or 2 or more than. When we are not going to take any nutrition in our body, we call that as a deficiency. The deficiency we are going to learn in a later classes. But now we are going to discuss about this nutritions. So now let's we see what are carbohydrates. The first one is carbohydrates. These carbohydrates are the very important in our body. The foods contain the nutrients, the major content of that carbohydrates. Let's we see. Carbohydrates are carbs or sugar molecules along with proteins and fats. Carbohydrates are one of 3 main nutrients found in the food and drinks. These carbohydrates are vital role takes place, and also this we call as a sugar molecules or starch also. These sugar molecules are converted into glucose. This glucose going to be dissolved in the blood and it is reaching to each cell of our body. Then there is a mechanism takes place by the oxidation that we'll see in a further classes. So this is we are going to know about the simple formation of the carbohydrates and their functions. And let's we see, your body breaks down carbohydrates into glucose. Glucose or blood sugar. How the carbohydrates are going to be converted into glucose, or it will be dissolved in the sugar. It is the main source of the energy for your body cells, tissues and the organ. So as I told you in the early, carbohydrates are very essential in our body. If there are no carbohydrates, we cannot do anything. So the carbohydrates are the very important in our body, and also it takes a very vital role. That is the main thing is giving energy, giving food. It gives our body energy. What is this energy to do? Let's we see, children. So, what are example of carbohydrates? Where we can see this carbohydrates food. So, if we eat this carbohydrates food, we get immediately energy. Children, let's we see where we can see this carbohydrates foods like breads, grains, and pasta. These are the major production of the carbohydrates, and also nuts and the legumes. This we see such as pulses, starchy vegetables, milk and the yogurts, fruits, snacks foods, sauces and the condiments. Here also we get availability of certain carbohydrates. What is the main role of this? Let's we see. And also we can see these carbohydrates are the majority of the food. So what are the benefits of these carbohydrates? Yes, our food is required of the carbohydrates. Already I told you it gives the main thing is the energy. Is it only energy? And also any other activities takes place by this carbohydrates. Let's we see, children. These carbohydrates are the very essential of body, and also we can see that why do you need carbohydrates? So that is a very simple question. Why do we need carbohydrates our body? Carbohydrates are your body's maintain sources of the main things like energy giving food. So this we call as a energy giving food, and also it products they help to fuel your brain. So it's like engine. The engine supposed to be run, we need a fuel. The same thing carbohydrates also fuel in a brain. And also there are the vital role takes place by kidneys. It is a filtrating heart muscles, cardiac muscles. It has to be functioned by this carbohydrates giving energy. Central nervous system, also we call that CNS. And also we see some digestive system. So this all the things are organs are interlinking process systems. The first has to be takes place by the food. Food has to be dissolved or absorbed by the blood, and blood is carry this nutrients or carbohydrates to all the part of the body, and this will sending to our cells. So actually this phenomenon as takes place by the carbohydrates. So the carbohydrates are the nothing but it gives us energy. So our body to do the any activity, energy. If there is no energy, we cannot do any functions. So energy is a very essential in our body. Without energy, we cannot do any single, even we cannot breathe also. So every metabolic activities takes place by the energy only. So this energy providing food we call as a carbohydrates. Carbohydrates we get major in a cereals, and also we can see certain fruits like banana, certain vegetables like potato, and also in a sugar cane. The major starch we can see in this kind of the food items, isn't it? So children, this is the I would like to tell you, and you have to remain your mind. Carbohydrates essential our body. Without carbohydrates we cannot imagine of our life. So whenever we get any problem or the disease, definitely the doctors will advise us to take a better carbohydrates to us to get the energy, then we can do any activities. So these carbohydrates are very important in our body, isn't it? Okay, children, will you see in next session, that is proteins, what are the proteins and where we get these proteins and what is the benefits of the proteins. Okay, thank you children.